Welcome to America Reads Fun Learning Activities. We are college students who create learning activities for kids. Our fun activities are focused on reading, writing, and math. Thank you for joining us to learn today. Today we are going to do 2 activities. For both of these activities, you will need something to write on, like a blank sheet of paper, and something to write with, like a pencil or marker. For our first activity, I'm going to read you a story. Pay close attention to it as I read it to you, because I'm going to ask you some questions about it after. Once upon a time, there was a baby cow who lived on a big farm in Wisconsin. Her name was Buttercup, but everyone called her BB for short. Every day, BB and her best friend, a tiny little pig named Carnita, would run off to the edge of the farm where all of the vegetables were growing, pick a few to eat, and find a shady spot to sit, eat, and talk. But one day, when BB was waiting for Carnita to show up to their secret meeting spot, Carnita never came. BB waited and waited and waited, but she never came. BB was so sad. As she slowly walked back to her barn, Billy Bob the goat stopped her. "Why do you look so sad, BB?" Billy Bob asked. "Because, Billy Bob, I was waiting for Carnita to meet me in our secret spot and she never showed up." "Oh," said Billy Bob, "I just saw Carnita with her mom at the store. She told me to tell you that she was going to be late and that she is so sorry, but she will be there soon and has a surprise for you." BB's face lit up. She started to run back to their favorite tree by the vegetable patch, where Carnita was sitting with a sad look on her face. "You have a surprise for me, Carnita?" BB said. "Oh, there you are, BB. I was so worried that Billy Bob didn't tell you. Yes, I have a surprise for you. Close your eyes." BB closed her eyes until Carnita told her to open them again, and when she did, she saw a million little bubbles flying through the sky. "Bubbles!" BB yelled. "I love them, Carnita. Thank you." "It makes me so happy to see you happy, BB," said Carnita. The 2 best friends continued to play in the bubbles, and they lived happily ever after. Alright, now let's see if you can answer these 3 questions. First, who were the 3 characters in the story? Think you got that right? There was Buttercup or BB, her best friend Carnita, and their other friend Billy Bob. Alright, now the next one. How did it make BB feel when she thought that Carnita had forgotten to meet her at their secret spot? It made her feel sad, right? Okay, and now for the last question. What did Carnita surprise BB with from the store? She surprised her with bubbles. Man, I love bubbles. That would have made me so happy too. Okay, now I'm going to show you some of the sentences from the story. First, I will read you the sentence. Then I'm going to highlight one of the words. On your piece of paper, I want you to try to think of a word that means the same thing as the highlighted word, but is a different word, and write it down on your paper. Here, let's try one. Every day, BB and her best friend, a tiny little pig named Carnita, would run off to the edge of the farm where all the vegetables were growing, pick a few to eat, and find a shady spot to sit, eat, and talk. What's a word that we could use instead of tiny or little? Maybe small? What word did you come up with? Alright, and what about this second spot? What's a word we could use instead of the word run? Maybe sprint or trot? What were your ideas? See how in both of these examples, the sentence still means the same thing, even though we changed 2 of the words. That's so cool! Let's try it with another sentence from the story. "Why do you look so sad, BB?" Billy Bob said. What's a word that we could use instead of the word sad? Maybe down, unhappy? What word or words did you come up with? Alright, one more. What's a word that we can use instead of said? Maybe asked or questioned or wondered? What words did you think of? Now let's move on to our next activity. Have you ever played Mad Libs before? Well, in case you haven't, I'll explain how it works. In Mad Libs, I will ask you to give me a certain type of word, and then you will write it down on your paper. Then, when all of the blanks have been filled in, I will show you the story and have you put your words in the right blanks to see what it says. Sometimes these stories end up pretty silly or don't make any sense, but that's okay. Before we begin, let's go over what some types of the words are. To play this game, we need to know what a noun, a verb, an adjective, and an adverb all are. A noun is a person, a place, or a thing. So, for example, a car is a noun. A plural noun is when we have two or more of the same noun. So, if we had 2 cars, that would be an example of a plural noun. A verb is an action word. It's when we are doing something, and it usually has an ing at the end. Right now, I am speaking, and speak is an example of a verb. An adjective is something that describes a noun. If we have a purple car, purple is the adjective because it's describing the car. And lastly, we have adverbs. An adverb is kind of like an adjective, but it's used to describe a verb. So if I am speaking quietly, the word quietly is describing the way I speak, and that is our adverb. Think you can remember all of that? Well, just in case, I'll leave these over here for your memory. Okay, now get out your piece of paper and write down the numbers 1 through 10, just like this. Ready? Next to the number 1, write down an adjective. It can be any adjective you want. Next to the number 2, write down a noun. It can be a person, a place, a thing, whatever you want. Next to the number 3, write down a verb. Next to the number 4, write down an adverb. Next to the number 5, write down a plural noun. Next to the number 6, write down a verb ending in ing. So like running, dancing, anyone you want to do. Next to the number 7, write down another adjective. Next to the number 8, write down a noun. Next to the number 9, write down an adverb. And next to the number 10, write down one more plural noun. Got them all down? Now let's look at the story. I'll read it out loud for you, but pause at the blank so that you can add your words to it. And I left the list over here so you can see it. Once upon a time, there was a named Jimmy. Jimmy loved to. One day, Jimmy decided to visit his up in Flagstaff. They went. It was very, but that didn't matter to Jimmy. Jimmy was just happy to see all of them up in the mountains. On his way back home to Phoenix, Jimmy slept, dreaming of. It was a great day. How did it sound? Thank you for joining us to learn today. We hope you come back and learn some more. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and we will be back with more videos. Until next time.